So, you watched my video, you made a Ticket Center account, you joined the fan clubs, you applied for some shows, and now you won an NMB theater show. What's next? Well, on this video, I'll show you exactly what you need to do on the day of the show, how to get your ticket, and how to enjoy the show. And I'll give you some tips and tricks to give you the best experience possible. When you win a show, the email will have some instructions for you. It's very important that you keep the email handy, as you'll need it to get your tickets. Your email will have a ticket number on it. On the day of the show, you'll have an hour and a half to pick up your tickets at the theater ticket desk. For example, if the show starts at 6:30 p.m., you can get your ticket from 4:30 until 6 p.m. It's very important that you get there in time, because if you miss the deadline, you'll forfeit your ticket. A no-show cancellation is considered worse than canceling after winning a show, so don't do it. As for the whole ticket pickup process, it goes like this. Go to the theater entrance at the pickup time. You'll see a staff member at the top of the stairs with a clipboard. You'll need to show them your email with your winning ticket number, as well as your ID. They'll confirm that you're on the list, and then they'll let you go down the stairs and into the theater. Now, this rule has changed since COVID, and who knows what the current situation is, but you may or may not need to disinfect your hands with alcohol spray, and do a temperature check. Once you're down in the theater lobby, the staff will direct you to the ticket counter. Once again, show the staff your winning email and or tell them your winning number, and give them your ID. They'll confirm your ID, and will ask you to briefly pull down your mask to show your face. You'll then pay for your ticket. At the time of this video, regular team shows are about 4,500 yen, while Kinkyusei shows are 4,000 yen. The staff will appreciate it if you bring exact change, but no big deal if you bring 5,000 yen. I typically avoid paying with 10,000 yen, but they'll accept it. Worst case scenario, go up to Don Quixote above the theater, get a drink to break your 10,000 yen. After paying for the ticket, the staff will hand you your ticket, and you'll notice your ticket number was written on it. Hang on to this and don't lose it. At this point, you'll need to go back outside and wait until 30 minutes before the show to go back in. They used to have everyone line up and enter by ticket number in order, but because of COVID, it's now assigned seating, with the rows being randomized each show. You won't know where you'll sit until it's time to go in and you re-enter the lobby. Before you go back up, you'll notice that half the lobby is sealed off, with the lockers behind it. It'll be opened up when it's time to go in, but for the half that isn't blocked off, you can use these lockers to put your belongings in. The theater has very strict rules with what you can and can't bring into the show. Everything you bring must fit in a small transparent bag. They do provide small transparent bags in the lobby for free, but you can't fit a lot of stuff in them, so only bring the essentials: your wallet and ID, ticket, pen lights, and other cheering goods. That's the extent of what's allowed into the theater. Food and drink are definitely not allowed, but in summer, they do allow people to bring a small bottle of water to combat dehydration. Everything else must go in the locker, which costs 300 yen for the small lockers, and large lockers are 400 yen. If your bags are too big to fit in the locker, the staff also provides a cloak service for 500 yen, and they'll give you a claim ticket to get it after the show. When it's time to go in, simply follow the line of people waiting to go in and show the staff your ticket as you go down the stairs. To avoid crowding, they tend to only let a dozen or so people in at a time, but don't worry, you'll get in time. Once you're down the stairs and in the lobby, you'll see the signs posted on the walls with the seating chart. Find your number and that's where you're sitting. Follow the line of people while holding your clear plastic bag as you proceed to the security check. If you have pen lights, they need to be turned on. Make sure your pockets are empty and put your bag in the bin and give it to the staff. The staff or security will then usher you through the metal detector. If everything is fine, you'll be free to grab your stuff and go into the theater or use the restroom. Past the security check, if you go straight, you'll see the restroom that you can use before the show starts. It's recommended that you use the restroom before the show, as they don't usually allow people to leave the theater once the show starts, except during the encore break. But getting out of your seat and back in is a little awkward, so it's best to go before the show. To the left of the security check, you'll notice the infamous hallway in the theater, where you'll see the members' portraits on the wall, as well as their annual height measurements and member graffiti. Feel free to look at these as you're going in, but you're not allowed to take pictures with your phone. In the before times, seating was first come, first served, and the entry order was determined by your ticket number. Number 1 would go in first, then number 2, and so on. It was kind of a mad dash to get in, and you had no time to meander in the hallway or go to the restroom. Once everyone had entered and were seated, the staff would lock you in to your seat, and then give the okay to go out and use the restroom. Who knows if they'll return to the pre-COVID way of doing things, but as of now, I prefer the current arrangement of randomized assigned seating. And it's still better than the bullshit bingo system that AKB and other groups do at their theater shows. As for the cancel omake folks, the system is similar but different. Instead of going to the stairs to check in, there will be a separate line on the opposite side. If you're facing the theater, it'll be on the far right along the wall. You'll see another staff person there with a clipboard. It's the same process. Show them your winning email and ID and they'll check you off. This is important. While canceling for omake is less serious than canceling for an actual ticket, showing up and getting checked off will help you immensely in terms of boosting your chances of getting a show in the future. After the omake staff checks you off, they'll ask you to wait along the wall in order by number. In front of the theater entrance above the stairs, you'll see the bulletin board in glass with the theater show of the day and a large number posted on it. This number is the number of people who canceled their tickets up to 2 hours before the show started. The higher the number, the better chances you have of getting into the show, as the cancel omake number is your waiting list number. Because not everyone shows up to cancel omake, it may not be a 1-to-1 ratio. Let's say the cancel number is 25, and you have cancel omake 37. You have a pretty good shot of getting into the show. Just to give you a better idea, there have been instances where my number was 60 something, and the person in front of me was 40 something. 25 minutes before the show starts, the staff member will go down the line and confirm everyone is standing in order. Then the line will proceed to go down the stairs and into the theater. This line will run parallel to the normal line to get in, but it will move much slower. They will sell tickets to the omake people in order of who's there. Once all the tickets have been sold, that's it. But not all is lost. The remaining people in line will have their numbers entered into a box, and they'll do one last raffle. The prize for the raffle varies, but usually it's a 98 out of 100 ticket, which is basically an auto-win ticket for a future show within the next 3 months. If you win that lottery, they'll send you to the ticket counter, where you'll tell them your number and show them your ID. They'll enter the information into the computer and give you a printout explaining the details of your prize. Depending on the show and the situation, they do let people into the lobby to watch the theater show through a TV, which for some people is the closest they'll get to watching the show. As for manners and what you should and shouldn't do during the show, these guidelines are also subject to change, but generally just follow common sense and don't be an asshole. There's no standing allowed during NMB theater shows, so you have to remain seated for the 2-ish hour runtime. You're not allowed to have your phone out while in the theater. If the stats catch you, they'll give you a warning and tell you to put it away. Cheering and mixing has returned to the theater as of March 2023. If you don't know what to say or do, just follow along with everyone else. Of course, don't talk during MC segments unless specifically addressed to. When waving pen lights, be mindful of the people next to you as well as behind you. Don't raise your arms past your shoulders, and definitely don't raise them above your head. Same goes for uchiwa and sketchbooks. For your bag of belongings, put it under your seat. I recommend taking everything you need for the show, pen lights, uchiwa, and sketchbook, before sitting down, just so you have easier access to them. The seats are quite cramped. As mentioned before, you can only get up and use the restroom during the encore break, but you'll only have about 5 minutes or so to get out and get back in before the encore starts. When the show finishes and the members do their final greeting and waving at the fans before leaving, the staff will tell you to remain seated. Now is the fun part of the theater shows, the Miyokuri, or fan send-off. If you're in the front row, the staff will direct you to stand up and walk in the line towards the back of the theater and wait. Once the members come back out, they'll be standing in a line on the stage. The staff will then direct you to walk past and wave at the members and exit the theater. This is the point where you can get some direct interaction with the members. Most fans will show off their goods or write a message for the members on their sketchbooks. You basically get like 2 seconds with each member. After the first row goes, the remaining rows will be let through one by one from left to right. Usually when the previous row has about 2 or 3 people left, they'll direct the next row to stand up and get ready to line up. As you exit into the hallway, the theater manager, Mr. Kaneko, aka Cameron, will be standing outside and will greet you as you leave. You'll then notice a line in front of the ticket desk. This is the line to buy the commemorative group photos of the theater show you just watched. There's usually 2 versions of the photos, and you can choose either the smaller 1L size or the larger 2L size photos. Most people will get these photos as souvenirs, and the line does get crazy long, as it'll extend all the way back up through the entrance and up the stairs. Don't forget your belongings in the locker, or with the cloak service before leaving. And don't linger inside the theater longer than you need to. If you need a quick exit, take the escalator up to the first floor of Don Quixote. And that's about it for going to see an NMB theater show. If you have any questions, by all means post them in the comments section. or hit me up on Twitter at SuperMatoWorld. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with any fans who may find it useful as well. Thanks for watching, and happy idling!